In the sacred verses of Genesis, from verse 21 to verse 40, we are ushered into one of the most transformative and emotionally stirring segments of the biblical narrative. These verses are not just ancient texts etched into time, but living words that breathe wisdom, conviction, and divine purpose into our souls today. They draw us closer to the heart of God, peeling back layers of human struggle, divine intervention, and the mysterious ways in which the Almighty shapes destinies. In these verses, we find ourselves walking alongside Jacob as he journeys through seasons of uncertainty and revelation. It is here that God's providence begins to unfold in ways that defy human logic. Amidst fear, betrayal, love, and labor, we witness a divine orchestration that brings both warning and wonder. The intensity of these passages calls out to the deepest part of the human experience, our longing to be seen, to be guided, to be chosen, and above all, to be transformed. Jacob's journey is not merely a historical account, it is a mirror held up to every soul that has ever walked through seasons of trial. In verse 21, the story reveals the intimate, raw truth of life in Laban's house. Jacob labors, not for money or land, but for love, a love that costs him years of toil and silent endurance. And yet, in that cost is hidden a deeper truth, that love which is tested becomes love that is purified. There is pain, yes. There is disappointment, yes. But within it all, there is a sacred thread of purpose being woven by the hand of God. Every time we feel unseen or used, every time our sacrifices seem to go unnoticed, let us remember Jacob, whose love for Rachel was so strong that 7 years felt like only a few days. This is not a love story just between man and woman, it is an allegory of our relationship with God. How far are we willing to go for the one we love? How much are we willing to endure for the promises of the Most High? Jacob's persistence is not weakness, it is spiritual resilience. It is a refusal to give up in the face of manipulation, injustice, and delay. As we move through the following verses, the emotional stakes rise. There is deception, and with it, heartbreak. Leah, the unloved sister, enters the narrative, not as a villain, but as a woman caught in the web of human brokenness. Her pain is palpable. She is given to a man who did not choose her, who did not labor for her. And yet, through her, God brings forth life. God sees Leah, he hears her cries, he blesses her womb and gives her children, each with names that echo her deep desire to be loved, to be valued, to be enough. This speaks to every person who has ever felt overlooked, unloved, or misjudged. To those who have been placed in positions they never asked for, God says, I see you. Your sorrow is not wasted. Your tears are not unseen. From your pain, I will bring forth purpose. Leah's story becomes a symbol of divine compensation, a reassurance that God is closest to the brokenhearted. In our lowest valleys, he is doing his highest work. Meanwhile, Rachel, though deeply loved, faces her own trial, barrenness. And this brings to light a critical truth, that even those who are cherished may still struggle. Life is not fair in the ways of men, but God's justice moves on a different plane. Rachel's ache echoes the cries of so many who wait for their own miracle, their own breakthrough, their own moment of divine remembrance. This is where urgency grips the soul. For how long must we wait? How long must the promise tarry? Rachel's plea to Jacob, give me children, or I'll die, is not just her voice, it is the voice of everyone desperate for something more, something only God can give. And so we learn a powerful lesson. Love is not always enough to shield us from struggle. Favor does not always remove hardship, but neither is suffering a sign of abandonment. In fact, it is often the place where heaven meets earth in the most intimate ways. God is not absent in the silence, he is preparing the miracle behind the scenes. He is shaping character, birthing purpose, aligning destinies. He is working, even when we cannot see. Verse after verse, we see lives that are far from perfect. These are not polished saints but flawed humans, chosen nonetheless. God does not choose based on merit or perfection, he chooses based on purpose. And that purpose often requires a refining fire. Jacob is being refined, Leah is being refined, Rachel is being refined, and so are we. Let this bring both fear and hope. Fear, because the path may be painful, hope, because the outcome will be glorious. The urgency of these verses cannot be overstated. Time is not promised. Every decision, every act of obedience, every sacrifice counts. Do not delay your surrender. Do not wait to trust. Do not hesitate to believe. God is moving now. He is weaving stories you cannot yet understand. The struggle is not your enemy, it is your divine assignment. This chapter reminds us that the hand of God is steady, even when our lives feel chaotic. It teaches us to trust when betrayed, to love when unloved, to hope when barren, and to endure when deceived. For in the end, God uses every fragment of our story to build something eternal. Every wound becomes a wellspring. Every loss becomes legacy. Every tear becomes testimony. Let these truths ignite your heart. Let them wake you up from spiritual complacency. There is no time to waste. God is calling you to walk with Him, not just in moments of joy, but through the valleys of confusion and hardship. The God of Jacob, Leah, and Rachel is the same God who walks beside you now. He does not forget. He does not forsake. He redeems all things in His perfect time. If this message stirred something in you, if it opened your eyes to the deeper meaning behind these sacred verses, I invite you to walk with me on this journey of faith. This is just the beginning. There is so much more to uncover, so much more to understand, so much more to live out with boldness and purpose. Subscribe now to my channel Shining Truths for more life-transforming insights from the Word of God. Let us seek, grow, and rise together. The time is now. The truth is shining. Don't miss it.